Netflix's Running Point is finally here, and here is what happens at the end of Running Point Season 1 and how it will impact a potential Running Point Season 2. Kate Hudson's new basketball comedy series has had all 10 of its episodes dropped on Netflix, with Running Point's mixed Rotten Tomatoes reception not hindering its popularity. Running Point takes its unique premise and takes it in all kinds of different directions, with the various members of the Gordon family having all of their individual storylines collide in the Running Point Season 1 finale. Running Point tells the story of Kate Hudson's Isla Gordon, the daughter of former Los Angeles Waves president Jack Gordon. After her brother Cam Gordon becomes wrapped up in a scandal, he is sent to a rehabilitation facility, with him naming Isla the new Waves president. Isla must overcome the sexism of the basketball industry while leading the struggling basketball team to success, alongside her two brothers and the rest of Running Point's cast. Running Point has been compared to the Apple series Ted Lasso, although the show's ending proves how the two series are different. What happens in Running Point's ending? The Waves lose during the playoffs. After overcoming all kinds of trials throughout Running Point, Kate Hudson's Isla Gordon finally leads the Waves to success, with them making it to Game 7 of the playoffs. To the surprise of many, however, the Waves lose, putting an end to their season earlier than expected. This leads to every member of the Gordon family being distraught, especially Isla, who is still reeling from her fiancé walking out on her a month earlier. In the empty stadium after the game, Isla has a conversation with the Waves head coach Jay Brown. With the two making out sometime later, Isla returns to her office at the Waves headquarters to find a surprise, Cam Gordon. Cam was put in a rehabilitation facility in Running Point Episode 1, with him apparently having gotten out sometime during the events of Episode 10. Cam has seemingly taken his old job back, with this possibly being a response to the Waves' tragic loss. Meanwhile, Travis remains in his new rehab facility, Jackie becomes accepted into the Gordon family, Sandy and his ex-boyfriend get back together, and the Waves begin to prepare for their next season. What is Cam Gordon's plan for the Waves? Is he the president again? Running Point Season 1 ends on a massive cliffhanger, with the Cam Gordon reveal coming immediately before the credits. Although it isn't explicitly explained, Cam sitting in Isla's chair implies that he is back working for the Waves, with him having taken his old job back. This is surprising, as he was the one who appointed Isla to the position in his absence. None of the Gordons expected Cam to get out of rehab so quickly, and while Sandy and Ness originally tried to oust Isla from the role, nobody seems to be happy with Cam's return. Cam could be taking over the Waves once again after their loss, with him responding to some of the failings of Isla's administration. Although she did have a more successful season than previous years, sexism combined with the hard-hitting loss could have led Cam to return. It could also be that Cam always planned to return regardless of if Isla succeeded or not. The controversy surrounding Cam and the failures of his previous presidency will undoubtedly have a major impact on the team, setting up an interesting dynamic for Running Point Season 2. Will Isla and Lev get back together, or will she get with Coach Brown? Lev left her 1 month ago. In Running Point Episode 9, Lev leaves Isla, with him breaking off their engagement due to her commitment to her work. When Running Point Episode 10 starts, it is revealed that it has been a month since Lev left, with there being no sign of him returning. This holds true until the end of the finale, with Isla making the surprising decision to kiss Coach Brown after the heartbreaking Game 7 loss. This could set up an interesting love triangle for Running Point Season 2, with Isla being torn between her former fiancé and her new love interest. Isla learns that she will always remember the losses more than the wins. Thanks to Coach Brown. Kate Hudson as Isla Gordon in Netflix's Running Point Season 1, Episode 1 courtesy of Katrina Marcinowski in Netflix. Before making out with Coach Brown, Isla has a brief conversation with him, with them discussing the heartbreaking loss. Isla explains that, despite the season's successes, she feels like a failure. Brown then explains that, in basketball and in life, you always remember the losses more than the wins. This helps open Isla's eyes to why she feels this way, with her understanding this perspective immediately. This is one of the main themes throughout Running Point, with it tying into nearly every character. Sandy, Ness, and Isla all face this in their relationships with their respective partners, while Travis faces this with his drug addiction and Dyson with his basketball performance. The characters in Running Point are constantly beating themselves up rather than recognizing their successes, with this being something that every cast member has to work on in the future. The real meaning of Running Point's ending. It has to do with Isla's leadership. While Running Point has a lot of themes, one of the main ones has to do with Isla's leadership of the Waves. While she finds success in her attempts to be like her father, Jack Gordon, she quickly realizes that this is not the correct way. Instead, Isla has to bring her unique method of leadership to the table. While the basketball players say that they previously felt like workhorses, Isla cares about them and treats them as people, putting their well-being above the team's performance. While this approach does make Isla's life harder at points, Running Point argues that it is the best way to go about leadership. How Running Point's ending sets up Season 2. Lots of storylines could be continued. There are a lot of unresolved storylines at the end of Running Point Season 1, many of which could be continued in a second season. The main storyline that will be continued has to do with Cam's leadership of the Waves, with Isla undoubtedly clashing with him over his position after Season 1's cliffhanger. Meanwhile, Isla's potential relationship with Coach Brown could also be built on after their romantic encounter in the finale. Travis Bug's time in rehab could also be explored, with his story being one of Running Point's most unresolved.